Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is such a wonderful day. It's an awesome time. We're in a whole new month. Can you believe it? It's now the month of April. The daffodils have bloomed. We are now seeing the azaleas out there. All of the cherry blossoms are there. I don't know if you've ever been to the campus of the Fountain, but it's just so warm and welcoming to drive down the driveway and you see these beautiful blossoms on both sides. It is just speechless. It almost takes your breath away to go like, God, what an awesome God you are. You do some wonderful things with nature. And today, on this first Saturday, we thank God for blessing us to be here and to share his word. Today, I want to ask that you would please look with me in John's Gospel, the 11th chapter, verses 45 through 57. Very powerful passage. In this gospel, it begins to tell us about the plot to kill Jesus. So it is now that time that Jesus has done so many wonderful things. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the scribes, they were all at their wits' end with Jesus because Jesus was turning upside down all of the establishment they had created, all the rituals, all of the formalities, all the things that they caused people to have to do. They even had a system of sacrifices that you had to make an animal of this kind of sacrifice, of that kind of sacrifice. Had to make sure it was without blemish. And the way they made sure it was without blemish is that you had to buy it from one of those persons in the marketplace right close to where the temple was. Now, don't you know that somebody was making good on all of that? Somebody was making a profit. And so Jesus comes and he tells them that you don't need to do this because you have turned my Father's house into a den of thieves. And so now Jesus is upsetting their order and they're going, we got to get rid of this guy. This guy is causing us problems. It becomes here in this text that we see that they were looking for a moment. They were looking for a time that they could plot to kill Jesus, to get rid of him. You know how sometimes people do? They want to eliminate what they might call their challenge or eliminate what they might call their enemy. So Jesus is now doing the things that the Father has sent him to do, and that is to bridge the relationship between humanity and with God. And as he's doing this, in the process, he makes some people angry. You know, that teaches us a lesson that whenever we're doing what God has called us to do, and we're calling right and wrong, it'll sometimes rub people the wrong way. And they want to eliminate us. They want to get rid of you. They want to say, you are causing me too much of a headache. But here in the text, we begin to see that they are saying, let's get rid of Jesus. And we're looking for every moment they could to make it happen. Now, this is during the time that Caiaphas was the priest. And so he was the high priest. And he lets them know that I'm not sure we should be doing this. But guess what? It is amazing how sometimes people will go along with others so that they can secure what they want to have. So he said, you don't know what you're talking about. If we let Jesus continue to do what he's doing, the whole nation's going to be destroyed. And you know, Jesus becomes this threat to them because he's upsetting what they thought was making them wealthy. You know, it's amazing how when we do what God causes us to do, we'll upset some people because they put wealth and riches before people. That's the reason why we have so many poor people in the world. And Jesus even lets us know that the poor will always be with us. And so here in this text, we begin to see how they're looking for every moment that they might get Jesus. But you know, every time someone from the outside is looking to get someone, they always have somebody on the inside. And you find out that Jesus has this one disciple that he handpicked, Judas Iscariot. And Judas was one of those persons that they said, I know how we can get to Jesus. Let's get somebody on the inside who's close to him. You know, the devil always tries to find somebody who's close to you that he can get to you. You know, too oftentimes we have allowed ourselves to be in position that we allow someone who's close to us to cause us to almost miss what God is saying because we start to take it personally. But I'm so happy that Jesus was so focused. His focus was more on God than on people, more on God than his connection with someone else. So here in the text, we begin to see that the Jewish leaders, they look for a moment in time when they could catch Jesus and hopefully do away with him. So now it's right about the season of Passover. And they said, if he comes to town, maybe we can get him. Now, everybody knows that anyone who is of the Jewish tradition and faith, Passover is a time that people come from everywhere. It's an annual celebration to think about and to commemorate what Christ has done for them and how they crossed over the Red Sea and made their way into the promised land, how they were delivered from the angel of death, that last of those plagues, the death of the firstborn. And it becomes commemorated, and it's commemorated even to this day. And so we, even as Christians, we celebrate what we call Maundy Thursday, and that's the celebration of the Passover, when we thank God for what he's done for us. But here we find in the text, and they began to look for a moment that they could get Jesus. They were looking for a moment to kill him. And don't you know that the devil is still looking for a moment that he can silence the voice of those who are calling on God? We must not become swayed. We must not become disenchanted when the sounds of the world is trying to choke out the voice of those who are the redeemed and the faithful. The devil tries to silence us, but we cannot be silent, because we must know that if we don't cry out, the rocks are going to cry out in our place. I don't know about you. I don't want any rocks crying out in my place. I want to make sure that I can stand boldly and tell the world that for God I live and for God I die. And I put my faith and my trust in the Word of God and Jesus being the Messiah. And so today, I hope that you and I, as we prepare to get ready for the season that we call Lent, as we make our way towards Easter, Resurrection Sunday, let's remind ourselves that we can't be silent, but we must talk about the goodness of Jesus and all that he's done for us, to tell the world that God is going to do powerful things. Even though the world might plot to get us, let's always make sure we're sensitive to God's Spirit. Please know, in this year of 2022, God has a blessing in store for you, because you're exceedingly and abundantly blessed. I'll see you tomorrow morning for in-person worship here at the Fountain of Raleigh, where God's blessings never stop flowing, at 9 a.m. We'll see you in the morning.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.